Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a radiator cooling plate on a 2001 Mazda Miata. So a radiator cooling plate or cooling panel works to help your radiator cool the coolant in your car, because air likes to flow the easiest way possible. So right now, air coming through this big hole in the front of the car hits the radiator, and it's easier for the air to squirt out the top. So the air will, just hit the radiator and go up over the top or under the car. They do a pretty good job of isolating the under the car part by adding this thing, but we could fill in that bottom gap too. But what a radiator cooling plate is going to do is basically cover this whole area all the way up to there, so that the air sort of is more inclined to go through the radiator rather than over it. And then also it's going to make the engine bay look nice. These tend to sell for a couple $100, and I'm going to show you guys how to make one for less than $10. Start with a piece of cardboard, and you're going to trace out two pieces. A bottom piece, which will sit right here, and it'll go around. And then top piece, which is going to go, I think mine's going from all the way over here, all the way over there. So this does a pretty good job of, that's a pretty good template right there. That's basically what it'll be like, but made out of steel. So you can see it's blocking a lot of that airflow, and it's bolted down right there. And then there's also two bolts, one there and one there, that I'm going to leave holes for. This, you don't really need this hole under here, but it's just easier to put the thing down. Yeah. So I traced the template onto some galvanized steel, which should have some rust resistance there, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. When you're using sharp metal, working with sharp metal, it's always good to wear protective gloves. Now that I have this template cut out into the steel, I'm going to use a straight edge, like a piece of 2x4, and lay it along where it needs to bend, and get a hammer and just tap it down to make that crease, just so that your folds are nice and straight. I've marked on this one where the folds should be, and I'm going to transfer that over to this. So now that I've got the general shape lined out, what I did is I put it in its spot and pushed down really hard on the little nubs where the screws, the bolts are going to come through. And so now I'm going to drill two holes right there. So next, all you need to do is drill some holes for the things to go through.
This isn't going to work.
So with those holes drilled, the top portion is done. I had a little mishap with the drill, just completely twisted this section up. But that's basically your upper section. So what I've done here is I've traced the bottom section onto this galvanized steel, and I'm going to cut it out just like we did the upper portion. So here's that lower piece, all nice and cut out, and ready to go onto the car. So here it is in place. It's hitting right here, so I need to trim a little bit off that. I need to trim a little bit off there, and a little bit off of there. So that's pretty much how it's going to lay. I'm probably going to grind down or throw some kind of protection around that edge, just because that's right near this thing, and I'd hate to cut up my fingers while I'm trying to open this hood latch. Next, you can mark and drill your holes, or actually you don't really need to. This isn't going to go anywhere, but I'm probably going to end up drilling the holes and putting the bolts through where they need to go. Alternatively, you can also put a little spacer in there. I think that's what the Beat Rush cooling plates do. So with some careful drilling and some more trimming, I've got those bolts through, and that actually brought this whole surface down low enough to where I'm not really concerned about catching my fingers on that. So this is your finished product, and I will do some tests to see if this actually does lower the coolant temperature or not. Even if it doesn't, I'm still pretty happy with it.